Bruce, where were you teaching this past week?
I was in Portland, Oregon.
Okay, what was the context in which they asked this question? Can I use the diplomatic approach before the crisis hits?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. So we're talking about the diplomatic approach. We're talking about project crises, and how sometimes you end up in a project crisis caused by two people who have a long-standing feud, and they always want to do their own thing, and sometimes your project gets caught up in that feud, and so the diplomatic approach in that case is to bring along with you somebody who is respected by those people, and his job is to just nod his head.
Kind of like my job here, right?
Sometimes. So what this person does is you prep them in advance to nod their head, and then you come into the meeting with those two, and you say something that they should answer yes to, like, you want this company to succeed, right? And they're all like, yes. And you understand that with success will come growth, and with growth will come opportunities for promotion, and so we want this company to succeed, right? So my guy's nodding his head, that gets them to nod their heads too. And then you start saying that this project will help the company succeed by meeting these goals, that the objective of the project meets the overall mission and the goals of the company. So once again, they're nodding their head. We get them into the mode of nodding their heads. And that's when you throw the zinger at them. You say, do you understand how your feud about whether or not we move these assembly lines to Mexico versus keeping them here, you understand how your feud is causing this project to be delayed, which then delays growth of the company, etc. Get them to nod their heads. Then you ask them, is it possible for you to put your feud on hold for a week, let my project get through, and then you can go back to killing each other after that, probably in a nicer way. So that was a context, but they brought it up so they had a specific question about, what do you do? Is there a way to be proactive about this?
And how did you answer that question?
Yeah, so that was tough. So how do you be proactive? What I figured was this person sees this feud going on and wants to proactively get the team to come through there, have them not stall the project in advance. And I told them it's a tricky thing to do. If you see that you are definitely going to hit that roadblock, then yes, and you should have identified this as a risk earlier on, and one of your risk management techniques for dealing with that would have been to use that diplomatic approach. But if you're not sure, you don't want to use that diplomatic approach if you're not sure it's going to delay your project, because you might actually stir up some arguments that had been kind of simmering down below. So it's not a very clever thing to do unless you know for sure your project's going to hit it.
Right, so it's difficult and sometimes dangerous to be proactive here.
Exactly.
Thank you.